Hello, hello, my friends. How are you? Happy Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend. We are having amazing weather here. It's just a taste of spring, but I'm excited that it's here. I actually got to go outside without a coat on today. All right, I was rushing it a little, but it was still nice. So let me know when you're here. Tonight we're going to be working with a simple SVG in Design Space to showcase our Easter pictures. I know, I bet you have some. So I only have one page to show you tonight, but there are more that will be available. But for right now, tonight, this one will be in that free classroom. So remember I told you to go to karamiller.com and you're going to click on classroom and make sure that you're enrolled in the free classroom. It's not in there yet, it's uploading right now, but it will be there along with this video later on tonight. So you can watch it again, you can download this actual simple that we're going to use tonight, and you can give it a try. All right? Okay, so let's take you into Design Space first. All right, so this is the simple that we're talking, oh wait, you know what, let me bring you down here. This is the simple that we're going to be working with tonight. Let me do it this way because then you can actually see it. First, I'm going to move these photos over. It's some bunnies and some photo mats. That's what the simple is. Our title. And we're going to be working on this layout. So please let me know when you're here. Hey, Marion. Welcome. Glad to see you. Okay, so we're going to go right into Design Space and get going. And the first thing we're going to do when you come in here is we need to do a little tweaking of the simple. So again, let's look at the real one and you can see what you need to do. See these cute little bunnies? This black could be cut out, but it would be super, super teeny and it would be annoying and Cricut would you'd have to glue it down. Hi, Tani. I hope I said that right. Glad you're here. So we're going to let Cricut do the writing so that we don't have to glue that down because that's just tricky, okay? So let me show you how you do that. Come on in. All right, so this is just the way it comes when you put it in Design Space. You go to upload, you upload the image, you remember where you put it on your computer, hey Shannon, and then you bring it in, okay? It's that easy. But now that it's here, this is where we have to do a little work. So first things first is I'm going to zoom out a little so you can see the whole thing. And this is how it comes. They're all connected, all good to go, right? All right, but I want to work with them a little. So first thing I'm going to do is come up here and ungroup. And then I'm going to take the bunny family and I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 bunnies, right? I'm going to move you over here. These guys are all fine. They don't need any extra work. They're a-okay. These guys are the ones we need to work on. So these are our bunnies. Now, if they came out looking like that, that'd be super cool, but it's not how it's going to work. That's super thin, really detail-y, and Cricut's just going to cut it all up, and then you're going to have to figure out how to get it attached to glue it. Yeah, no, we're not going to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, and see, this is the line that I want. That's the black outline. This is the part at the bottom, right? If you wanted to get a good look at it, you can, but you don't have to. You can ungroup them and mess with them. You don't have to. So what I'm going to do is select the one that's the outline, and I'm going to come up here and change it from a cut to a draw with a pen. Now I'm going to come back and I'm going to select both of those together, the background, hi Diane, and the top, and I'm going to say attach. And I'm going to do that for all 3 of these. Select you. I want just that one. Just that top layer. I'm going to go up. I'm going to say pen. I'm going to select. And I'm going to attach. This dude, I want this layer, up, pen, select, attach, and one more time, pen. Make sure that you have both layers. You want the layer you just changed to pen and the background, because you're telling Cricut where to go ahead and write. And I'm going to say attach. And now when I send this over to the Make It screen, watch what happens. This is the background, which is the shadow layer. I like to think of this as like the back of a puzzle. It tells me where everything's going to go. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that when I designed Simples, it's because I don't like to measure. And I would look at, Anita wants to know, how do you rename a group? Sure, I'll show you one sec. When I created Simples, it was because I don't like to measure. So these tell me where to put everything on the page. So it's much easier. Anita wants to know, how do you rename a group? So come over here. So if I wanted this to be something else, I'm going to right click on it. I don't know if I can name it. Yeah, I just double click on it. You know, I've never done that before. Anita, what would you want to name it, and how would you use that to help you? But yes, you can just double click on it and it will highlight it, and then I could type in there side bunny and hit enter, and now it's a group. Would that help? Let me know. Anybody else do that? I'm going to go to Make It. It's not going to change anything over here. When I go to Make It, it's going to be fine. And so the first layer that it wants to cut out, it's going to cut out this white layer. Those are the top layer. Okay. Well, I'm glad that worked. That helps me, or that lets me cut out the simple. I'm going to show you in real life what that is in a second. And my bunnies, okay? So come down here. What that first layer is going to cut out is going to be this. This is actually the simple. Remember, simples are photo mats and scrapbook sketch layouts all in one, okay? So this is the top layer. This is the bottom layer. Let me move Mr. Bunny family here. So as you can see, these guys now have lines. This is what that first load of the mat's going to do. This is the second load, and then the third load is going to give me my Happy Easter, and we're going to talk about that in a minute when we get there, okay? So we're going to let Cricut go ahead and cut. It's going to cut this layer, then it's going to cut this layer, and then it's time for this font. Now, if you look at this, this is pretty delicate, right? This is a system font. I used it in my design program. I think it's Lobster 2, but I could be wrong. But it's a tiny little font, right? But we could use big, bulky fonts and just cut out of anything. I did this purposely to show you. Where's the left one? This is cut from not close to my heart paper. It's black. It's a super smooth, right? Should have been okay, but look what it did. It didn't cut all the way through. It kind of ate up the H. It just made a horrible mess. Same settings, same mat, same blade, and I got this when I used the solid core close to my heart black. I use medium cardstock. And again, if you've been following me for a while, you know I am a huge fan of the light blue mat, not the green one, light blue. And you want to make sure that you have a sharp blade. Now, I've been cutting for a bit and my blade is getting less sharp. So here's a trick to get you over the hump and get you a little bit longer if you're waiting for the blade. It's going to take it a minute. So I say medium cardstock, but see this pressure right here? If you are finding that you're having to work to get it cut, it didn't quite cut all the way through, it's the setting you've always used, it's the paper you've always used, everything's the same, but why is this happening? It could be because your blade is starting to be not so sharp. You can switch right here, super simple, and just say more. And that's going to give it just a little bit more pressure, which usually is enough. Okay? Something else you can do if that doesn't really work is you can, I like cardstock for intricate cuts. So if you're doing something with lots of detail, that's really a good setting as well. You can't do fast mode, and it cuts a little bit slower because actually what it does is it goes over your cut twice. So in the old days we would have called that double cut, but it goes over it twice, but not as heavy pressure. So it can handle the corners, it can handle the ins and outs. So those are my two, and you notice I have them here in my bookmarked because they're ones I go to all the time. As Marion said, she'll use vinyl sometimes, and that is awesome. If you have a really delicate font and you're struggling with stuff, yes, you can use vinyl to cut your letters out of. All right, so here we go. I just wanted to show you the Cosette, which is the paper pack and sticker set that we're using. And I wanted to show you this because when you look at this in the catalog, I think you might think, oh, that's just not my style. I'm just not a big fan of that. I have to say, when I first looked at it, I love the colors. The colors are my faves. But this is just not my style. This is a little too much for me. I like clean and simple. It's a little much for me. So I wasn't sure that I would really like it, but I really like the colors. So, of course, I have it. Let's look at this so you can see. See, some of these papers are a little busy, but some aren't. So you can pick and choose. But I'm using them in a totally different way. This is the sticker sheet. It comes with these are some die cuts that you can add to it. I did this kind of a la carte. I didn't do a workshop. But I always go with a coordinating cardstock. So the two things I buy when I like a paper pack, I'll buy this, which gives me the pattern paper. Mine are out right now. Hold on, I'll show you what they are. This is what's in the pattern paper along with the sticker. Right? So pretty. This one. This one I like. This one's a little much, but we could do this with a bigger simple. So let's see what this looks like. We're not going to use this one for ours, but let's see what it would look like. You can see that you can still get away with something like this because even though it's a busy background, if I had some simple photos that weren't too busy, I'd be okay. All right. Anywho, I buy the paper pack along with the sticker sheet because I love the stickers. And then I grab the coordinating cardstock so all my colors go together. Matchy, matchy me. All right, so let's move you over here now. Now, everything's cut out, so we are ready to put this together. First thing I'm going to do is I am going to put this on because I think I've already lost part of it. I knew I would. When I moved it, I lost the appy part. Hold on, what did I do with you? What do you, oh, here's appy. I'm looking at it this way going, what does that spell? Hello. No, it's appy. All right, so let's move all of you guys. And we are going to put appy down. There's lots of different ways to do delicate fonts. One of my favorites, I am not a liquid glue person. I just don't like it. So I love a little Xyron X machine to just run this right through, which I don't have right now. So I can't use that. I'm looking for my, where are you? I'm not finding that either. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this. This is a Cricut matte clear thing. I just don't want to get it on anything. And I'm just going to kind of put this down with a little bit of regular tape runner. Nothing fancy. And now, to get it off my finger, because it wants to stick there, and put this down. And there we go. See, that worked pretty well. Now my H. Make sure you don't have it backwards. I know, I do love this iron. Especially for letters like this. Now, what if you don't want to do this? I could have turned this into a drawing layer as well, and I could have let Cricut write these if I didn't want to. Oh, it's the east that I've lost. We'll find it. I'm not going to freak out because I know it's here somewhere. I just wanted to show you this so I didn't do it ahead of time. Big mistake. Okay. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to cut off this little trim. When you're playing with Close to My Heart paper, know that there's a zip strip on every piece. And a zip strip is this little strip at the end that you think just tells you the colors that are involved. But when you flip it over, it's got a sweet little design that can be used for a border. So you just line this up with your trimmer right along the edge, and you cut that off, right? Now, I'm ready. So now, because I have this, I can just figure out where the whole placement's going to go just by plopping this down. Trust me, I'm going to find the E's. I will. I don't know if it's under there, but we'll find it. Flip her over. So here I'm able to get my whole layout planned, spaced, attached, and I didn't need to measure anything. And I'm going to pop you down. Now, if I need to know like where things are, I can use this. But basically, the bunnies help me know this one is straight, this one's on a curve, a slant. So I just need to line these guys up.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Apparently my watch wants to talk to me tonight. Sorry. Then pop you down. Everybody's good. Next, I'm going to pop this down, which is going to go right here. I did use my photo printer because I needed these pictures today. And we've talked about these before, and I am currently using an HP Sprocket, which I like. That's the picture of the box. None of them are cheap, but the I'll put the link to the one I use later so you can look at it yourself. I've used the, shoot, what's the one we had before, guys? It was an Epson one, and I found that it just wasn't doing what I wanted anymore. So I switched to this one, and I like it. It does do a good job. All right, so now I need to work on my bunnies a little before I glue them down. I'm going to leave the outline the way it is. I could color this in, but it will hurt my head. And selfie. Thank you, Susan. But I am going to do his eye so it doesn't look hollow. Right? And I'm going to do his nose. Give my bunny just a little definition, right? And then this bunny, same thing, his eye and his nose. Bunny, bunny. And I'm using my Cricut pen that did the writing. Now I could color in my ears if I wanted to give a little pink. In most of my, you notice I can't color and talk at the same time. Generally, I like my pictures to be the stars of the show. So, this dude is going to go here, but he is going to get some dimension with the little foam dots. And I have the placement of where he's going to go because I have my shadow all done. So I don't have to worry about, well, where does he sit? Right? I also still have the Canon Selfie. I was having trouble with it updating, and it was printing my photos not the size I wanted. So I haven't tried it in a bit, to be honest. Maybe they've updated the software and it's working better. And see, Mr. Bunny just fits right there nice. Isn't he cute? Then this bunny goes here and this bunny goes on top. So this one is going to just get adhesive and he's going to go down on the bottom layer. I like to think like you're building a pizza. You start with the crust. You try and put your pepperoni on straight so you don't have that issue. And then you just add all your embellishments, all your flavors go on top. So I'll get to the photos in a minute. We're almost there. And this is going to look like a really cute, I think, layout that really wasn't hard to do. We let Cricut do all the work, right? Cricut did the writing. I didn't have to stamp. I didn't have to do anything. I do have to find the EAS, but yeah. To-do. Come on, Mr. Bunny. How much do you want to bet Morty's going to walk around with these little white things stuck on him later? Morty is the Shih Tzu that's under my desk right now. If you missed him with his rabbit ears, it was a short wearing of the ears yesterday. Mort was not impressed with that idea. I thought it was cute. He had a different idea. All right, last bunny is this one. And I'm going to just use some bigger dots. And he's going to get raised up a little. And because he's the big one, I could do a little bit more with him. Think how he would look with some Wink of Stella. A little bit of glimmer. You could do whatever you wanted on here. He doesn't have to be white. Not all bunnies are. Okay. He's going to go right here. All right, now it's time for photos. Okay. So I only printed a couple, but I have this one of me, this one of the girls. This is Rosie and I at church. And this is us in the backyard. Now you're looking at this saying, well, now wait a minute. Those are vertical photos. This is a vertical space. It is, but this family photo is going to fit on there because I'm going to use a template. These are my template tools. They're on my website if you're wondering. They come 4 in a pack. And they're 4 different sizes. And the sizes are designed to fit the spaces on your Simple. I don't like to measure or crop photos using any of the computer programs. They make my head hurt. So look at this. If I line this up, the reason it's clear is I can see I see what you get. I can figure out where I want to cut it. So I am going to lose my left elbow. I don't want to lose too much of Lucy, so I would rather lose my left elbow and get all of Lou's Sweet little hat. All right, so I line that up exactly where I want it. I take my scissors, which I have lost in my travels. How did I lose scissors? Hold on. Oh, here they are. And we're going to go ahead and cut right along here. Those of you that have been watching me are going to say, Kara, where's your long-bladed scissors? And I'm going to say, I wish I had them. It wouldn't be so hard. They're not in this room. So if you have never tried this before, long-bladed scissors work much, much, much better. You don't end up with a possibly crooked. But we're good. And now, this is going to fit right here like a glove. And then I'm going to use the girls. This is how they come from the printer. They have those ends on them. You just break them off. Don't need to do anything with this because this is standard 4x6. Now the only negative is when you print them at the home printer, it's a little bit shorter, but it's really okay. We can live with that. Just line her up. I'll save me for another day. And now, besides the EAS I have to find, which I know was here. I showed it to you. That's how I know it was here. We were talking about how delicate it was, a font. Usually it's stuck on the bottom of my trimmer, but no, not this time. Oh, I wonder if it went in the trash. I could have done that. Do you do that at home? Do you lose those pieces and they go in the trash? Yeah, I could have done that. No, I don't see it, but we'll find it. I'm just going to do quickly through this stack over here. Anyway, I wanted to show you one more trick. Ignore the fact it's on your... Oh! Yay! How do you guys see that? See? You can see that so much better than me. Thank you. No, I never saw that at all. All right. Well, phew. You know I would have been fretting over this and would have had to cut another one. So the moral of that story is I usually put these down the second I cut them because this happens to me all the time. All the time. All right, so now I need some place to write what happened, write what this is, right? Like this is pretty, but now what? Now it needs to actually have some journaling on it. And at first when I did this, I was going to write on the bunnies, and they're too cute to write on. So this is a piece. This is the leftover paper that they didn't look like they belong. It's perfect. They fit where they go now. This is leftover from my Cricut cut. You see the bunnies were in here. This is the shadow one. Okay, so hold on to that. I'm going to take you back into Design Space for a minute. Now, had I thought about this before I cut it out, I could have done something then, but I didn't. So I'm going to use my trimmer, but I could also trial and error it to figure out what size journaling piece do I need. But let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to line everybody back up where they go. And I don't really need to worry about the bunnies because they're kind of, you know, they're embellishments and they're okay. And I don't need to worry about this either. Or even this, really. It's this. This is what is the size of the page. But I need to know how much room do I have to work with. So I'm going to go to a shape. bring in a square, and I'm going to make it 12 by 12. All right, and I'm going to change it to yellow so I kind of get the idea. This is the paper that we're working on. I'm going to right click and I'm going to send it to the back. All right, so now that's what my page looks like, sort of, right? It tells me what space I have left. So I have room right here or right here to put my journaling in. I'm going to put it over here because I don't want to interrupt the flow of the bunny to the bunny. I feel like they kind of go together down there. So I want another square. And now I could have cut this with my Cricut, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to put this in here and see what size should it be. I'm going to unlock and I'm going to make it 2.5 high. And that's going to be my journaling piece. All right. So 2 by 2.5 is going to be the right size. All right. Come back over here. Just happens to be this piece I cut of the leftover from the white layer. And then I want it to be backed with this. Again, I told you I don't like to measure, right? If it's 2.5 by 2.5, I could figure out what size it is in Design Space using the offset, but that's kind of mathy too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up about where I want it, and I'm going to glue it down. Before I get too carried away, I am going to glue it down, and then this is where my trimmer and I are going to have some fun. So line it up. Let me do it on here so you don't get distracted. Line it up around across here. That's a nice straight line, right? Here to here. All right, now let's bring this baby in. And I am going to cut the line on my trimmer. There's a little filament here in your trimmer that shows you exactly where you're cutting. So I'm going to line that up. Now I can't really use the top to be straight or anything. I have to use that little thingy in my trimmer, right? Now I can put it up there, and I'm going to do the same thing, and I am eyeballing this because no one is going to come with a ruler and look at this and see, is it perfect? It's what it looks like to you. So as long as this looks okay, hi Lana, then I'm good. So let's get this out of here. This is going to get added right here as my journaling piece, and it doesn't look like an add-on. It looks like it belongs. Now I'm going to go in here to the handy sticker sheet. I could use a stamp pad. I could, if I hate my handwriting, I could have let Cricut do the writing. But I wanted, it says love and this. And I want those two to go. I want love to go right here. And this is going to go right here. And now I'm going to use my Cricut pen, and I'm going to write that this was April, I don't care about the day, it was Easter, 2023. Girls in their bonnets with Papa and Mimi. Grace, Lucy, Rosie. Marion, it's that first grade teacher in me. Comes out every now and then. If you don't like your handwriting, right? First of all, I made this little, so it's easy to stay straight, sort of, ish. If I was trying to write on a big something, it would have gone uphill or would have gone downhill. So keep your space small. Put something that takes your eye away from it if you don't like your writing. Let Cricut do the writing. Stamp it with an Easter stamp and call it good. Just get the date in here somewhere. Come on. One more. And then, and this one again, you can eyeball it because you're going to go close to the edge, so you don't really have to measure. And then there's this really sweet flower that I could use. I could use this yellow, but it's almost too big. I think I'm going to just leave it alone for now. I might add something later. But what do you think? Super easy. Went together. Looks like we fussed and fussed and fussed, and we didn't. It went together really quick. We let Cricut do the work, and our photos speak for themselves. Right? They are the star of the page. Now, I could change this whole look by putting this on solid cardstock. So if you are somebody who looks at this and goes, oh, these flowers are kind of making me nuts, I really need a solid color, you definitely can. And what's cool about this, don't stick it down first. I did, because, you know, that's what I do. But you can move this, and I'm moving the whole thing, all one movement, right? And I could move this to another page. In one movement. I have everything except for that. So I could go to this if I like that better. I could go to a solid. Let me grab a solid here to show you how it would look. But the beauty of simples are you can move it around and get it where you want it and see how your whole layout looks in one look. So sometimes it works better not to glue the simple down until you're done. Let me just find one of these hammers. And if I was using a solid color, like maybe this would look really good with those pink sweaters, right? And now it is more about the photos, or maybe a yellow. See how it changes the whole look depending on what you put it on? But you've done all the work. Another idea is if you're going to do, you're not sure what you want for paper, do your shadow in a black. And then it's not going to, like I've committed to the green because I'm doing green because that's what that paper had. And that was my original plan, was this one. But if you're not sure, then do your shadow in a dark solid color. And it won't matter. You won't have committed to a color. Okay? Alrighty. Well, make sure you are in that free class. Those of you in Inspire, this is already in your classroom. Inspire is our monthly scrapbooking membership where people get simples all month long. This one's in there already. People that are in the free class, it's uploading now. Have a great night and a really good week, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.